just breaking it down, the Completionist is a dumbass idea. We f***ed ourselves over out the gate with a game of like, oh, every week we're just gonna complete a game every week.
And the very idea of a Completionist is like, we're gonna take this thing and we are going to cover every inch of this puppy. No stone is left unturned.
Like, I feel like being a completionist of like a Super Nintendo game is like, great, you collect a couple things and then you're done. But being a completionist for like a PS5 game, it's like 1,000 hours of gameplay to get like
the sword of antiquity in some dumbass game that no one's ever played because he's got to get it done for launch. And then, you know, he's got to put in 86 hours for that stupid thing.
The Completionist journey was super unexpected. I had one idea here and it exploded in this beautiful catastrophe.
His channel was probably an early drop of water in the ocean that became video game content on YouTube.
I'm Jirard Khalil, I'm the Completionist. Come with me on this journey, and we're gonna do this until I can't do it anymore.
I think Jirard is definitely the sort of person to look at what he's doing and be like, but how can I go bigger?
Dude, we could totally film ourselves and make ourselves so awesome we upload it on the web and everyone watches and see how awesome we are.
You mean like a web show?
Yeah. Oh, can we please? Please.
I don't know exactly when I met Jirard. It had to have been in high school, because we went to rival high schools. Had to have been through drama, maybe comedy sports. I think I just knew of Jirard as being one of the coolest drama guys from PV High.
I met Jirard on my very first day of college, on my very first class of college. Oh God, what was the class? It was Voice and Movement.
I think the first time I met him in person was when I went to LA for E3 2012. And we met at a Chipotle.
We did a live stream from Jirard's place.
I met Jirard at his house. We did like a live stream, and that was the first time I met Jirard, was on camera. It's recorded, I guess.
And I was hanging out with a bunch of buds, and he was playing games on stream, and I was like, this guy is like blowing through all of the games that he's playing. It's actually crazy.
When I was in college, I worked at Best Buy, as well as working at MySpace at the same time for about 5 years. And during my time at Best Buy, one of the things I used to watch all the time was this TV channel / network called G4. And just watching Sessler, Munn, Webb, Pereira just doing their thing really planted this seed for me to want to create and talk about games. At the time, I was a failed actor who had been receiving a lot of criticism from my acting coaches and teachers and classes that I was taking. And so my confidence was at an all-time low.
Weirdly, I was one of the first people that Jirard talked to about The Completionist. We got burgers, and he told me about his idea. This was before I did anything related to YouTube, so I don't know why he went to me specifically. Maybe I should ask him.
I remember getting a call from Jirard, over 10 years ago, where he's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this show, thinking of like calling myself The Completionist, where I complete games and I talk about it. And we met up one day and like we just kind of wrote some notes on whiteboard and stuff.
I remember specifically like a lot of conversations in his bedroom, him seated at his desk, and us just kind of talking loosely about what like a show about video games would be.
The Completionist was my 5th YouTube channel that I tried my best to succeed at. And I really wanted this to be it. You know, I really thought it's do or die. Either commit to this or walk away completely.
Hey guys, my name is Jirard Khalil, and I am the Completionist. This show is a catalyst for me to review games from the classic era to the next and current generation of consoles, to even the old school archaic days of PC and old school Atari gaming.
When I started The Completionist back in 2011, in terms of what was going on in YouTube on the platform, it was really Wild Westy. There weren't Let's Players really of any kind. There were a select few people.
What he was trying to do was something that hadn't really been done before in the space. It was like, I'm gonna play every corner of this game and then talk about it.
Jirard started this channel at a time that was kind of where the idea of like someone's playing video games and talking about them on the YouTube, that was still sort of a new, fresh idea.
The concept itself was new. It was the struggle of, 100%ing a game was something that basically one guy was doing.
And that first video exploded in a way that I didn't anticipate.
I think The Completionist was Jirard putting himself out there in the most real sense.
And, it took off.
Welcome to another episode of The Completionist. Welcome to the first ever Halloween special of The Completionist.
But even with the YouTube scene, I feel like he had a proper structured show right from the go. And while there were tweaks to it, he still had production value for it. He still had the right idea. He covered popular games and even smaller indie hits. I feel like he was one of the early markers of this is something that we should strive for if we're going to want to keep people interested.
And then he kind of rode that wave, and it hit its crest.
It really was this guy in his room creating a YouTube show.
Welcome to a brand new episode of The Completionist. The Completionist. The Completionist.
The Completionist.
Dude, the first time I heard about Jirard, I hadn't met him yet. I think they were at a Yogscast party with an ice sculpture.
One of the first times Jirard and I ever hung out was at a Yogscast party.
They were doing a party for Yogscast getting either 2 million subscribers or 2 million views. It was something like that. It was some high number.
I just know that I was invited, and it was on top of a roof.
And I think he fell in the pool.
Yes!
Or some shit.
Yes! I was at that party.
He pushed someone.
He pushed Egoraptor into the water.
Aaron Hansen jumped in a pool, got kicked out. Jirard tried to record a thing, and I don't know if they yelled at him for it. I'm not sure what happened there.
Aaron and Jirard both set up this prank. I think it was Aaron's idea to have Jirard get mad at him and throw him into a pool.
He was like, push me in the pool. And Jirard was like, all right, man, push him in the pool. And then everyone was like, what the f are you guys doing?
Yeah, they got
this
in
pool's
trouble.
No for getting in.
The hotel staff was really mad at them.
The security literally thought they were trying to start a scene and tried to kick both of them out.
I'm not sure this was 2012, 2011. This was when we were first what is the internet? How's it work? And we were on top of a roof. They threw us on a rooftop party.
That was the first story I heard of Jirard.
I think sometimes YouTube has a stank to it in terms of production quality, just on the very sense that it's lower budget. But Jirard doesn't play by those rules.
For the most part, when it comes to creative, he knows exactly what he wants.
He has ideas of where he sees himself and he wants to be, and he just iterates and iterates and iterates till he gets to that point. That's real.
I mean, when this entire process started out, Jirard literally did everything, right? But that is not sustainable.
And it went from that to having people help him out with scripts and asset work and edit work.
The thing that's really changed in the past 10 years is that he's just brought that genuine quality and just polished everything that he's had there.
And every time I catch up, there's a new intro and there's new graphics, and I'm like, whoa, this looks amazing. I'd use the same intro for 10 years. How is he doing it?
200 episodes, 200 games.
How the Completionist show is made. If the Completionist show is a cake, the cake has been prepared in several different ways over the years as the scope and scale of the show has changed, and as the team involved in making the show has changed.
I'm sure you talked to producer Michael Barrity, producing superstar Michael Barrity.
That is a gross rounding up on my responsibilities.
He's pretty good at planning out the schedule, and Pat, the lead editor of the show, also really good about okay, here's the stuff that Jirard has completed and is ready to go.
When Jirard started the show, he was a young man. He was a young man with young man's energy. And you can kind of tell with that more frenetic pace of it. The best way I can describe how this show used to be is it felt very YouTube-y.
For the longest time, we made a really good hamburger that everyone likes to eat. And if you're a chef, or in this case a creator, you want to go beyond the bounds of just creating the same thing over and over and over again.
But as he's grown up, he's become more thoughtful and more introspective. And you can see a lot of that in the more recent episodes.
My name is Jirard Dragon Rider Khalil, and this is our 300th episode. I am so proud of the progress that my team and I have made all these years, and I'm so excited to...
It was when we hit episode 301 where I said, let's make this more cinematic. Let's make this more about storytelling. Let's make this more about the journey of what it's like to complete the game and not so much a review.
When I first joined, there was a really regimented structure for the scripts. And then we tried to really mix that up and make sure that each episode felt super different from each other.
To be able to create something where we can delve into more serious topics and not joke about it, actually take it seriously, is something that you wouldn't have seen in the earlier episodes.
Being the partner of a completionist is difficult because he is very determined and he's very work oriented, because you can't be a completionist if you aren't, really. I mean, I met Jirard through a t-shirt, I would say. I used to work for a company called Snork Tees, and I've created a couple unique designs, original designs of my own, and he happened to be wearing one in an episode, so I reached out to him and I said, hey, thanks for wearing my shirt in your episode, and he sent me a Twitter DM, so the rest is kind of history, but that's how we met. He does this thing, right, when he gets really into games, and he's like, I gotta beat this, and he's like, it's all on the line. He gets up, right? He gets up from his couch and he stands this far away from the TV, and he's there with his video game, and he's trying to do it. And so that's when you know a game's got him, is when he gets up into the middle of the room and he stands in front of the TV.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of The Completionist. Our 400th to be exact. 400 games completed. It's pretty crazy, right? Over the last 10 fascinating years...
To look back from where he started and where we are now, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we've gone through a couple of different iterations of not just the Completionist, but the Beer Bros. We've had, the other content creators that we've had on board.
At one point, Completionist and TOVG and stuff felt like our band. And now it feels like our record label. We make a lot of things, we make a lot of different things, music projects, all these things. And coming here now, it feels like you come work at a company and we have coworkers and salaries and stuff. It's like a real job now.
So much of the stuff we do here is great. We're like one big family. Of course, we get in spats every now and then, but it's like a family here.
I think one of my favorite things is how collaborative this all feels.
Too often in this industry, creators are kind of competing with each other, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And with the TOVG crew, you can tell that they all just wanted to be there and they loved what they do. And that was infectious. And so everyone who worked in that space kind of felt the same way, and we would all just help each other. If one person had a charity stream, everyone would show up. We would just dogpile that thing.
This is the thing we talk about all the time, is just being that force of non-influencery-ness.
Helping others and helping people and being inspired by those people is so important, and it gives back tenfold every time.
I think Jirard's biggest impact in general is just community building. I think he's a dude who likes to bring people together.
It's hard to break through the ceiling into the industry. Jirard had to do it, and I think he acknowledges the difficulty that some people had, and he would very often help facilitate those people. If people were struggling for a space to record, he would find a way to make office space for them.
He's always been supportive of anything. He's always been I'm your friend. I will do anything I can for you. Just tell me what you need. He's that guy who's just he will be there for you.
I have found that since becoming his friend and watching him, I go the extra mile.
Jirard throws so much positivity out in a world that is just a cesspool of shit. And he tries really hard to counterbalance that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indie Land. My name is Jirard the Completionist, and I am here today to raise money for dementia, as well as promote some incredible indie games.
The impact on video games has been fairly significant for what it is. I feel like a lot of indie game companies are very aware of TOVG. Of course, with Indie Land, it's becoming quite a big thing.
He's always a champion for indie games. And as far as like affecting the video game industry, I know he has personal relationships with a lot of indie developers. You know, one of his favorite games is Shovel Knight, and so Yacht Club. We got Nick and Waz, like, are good friends of Jirard's.
When we talk about achievements and stuff, we will often reference Jirard as like, well, no one's going to do this except for like maybe crazy people like Jirard.
Right.
But, you know.
We're basically, by adding anything, we're forcing him to do it.
What I love about Jirard in like a personal sense is that he's just kind of down for anything. We traveled to Japan together, and we did a thing for Sega. They had just done a build at Tokyo Game Show, and we played it, and then they wanted our feedback. We just spent a lot of time hanging out and going to restaurants, and there's so much to do and explore in that city, and to have somebody who's just like, yeah, it sounds great for like everything. It's just like, it's like the best person to hang out with in that regard.
During the pandemic, G4 announced that they were coming back in a full-fledged style that got everyone excited, everyone talking, and no one really knows this, but I auditioned 7 times over the course of 9 months for G4, and that's when I made the video about my health, about how I had to take a step back from YouTube for a little bit and fix all of what was going on in here with a lot of surgeries. And I remember I went under, got this very painful invasive surgery to remove these lesions on my body, and I wake up and I get a call from my brother, and he was like, hey, G4 wants you to join as a host. And I remember turning to the doctor and being like, can you increase more of the morphine? Because I don't know if this is real or not, and I just want to sleep through it, because I didn't think it was real. And then when I came to, my girlfriend was there. She picked me up, took me home, and I had that realization of it was real. And immediately it just changed everything for me. I don't even care if it's good or bad. I'm just happy to be there, and you know what I mean. Like, it's not about it being the best thing ever. It's about inspiring people, and I hope that I can do what G4 did for me, for so many people out there at home.
The Completionist, I take it a lot more seriously than I do like other YouTube reviewer shows. To me, it just kind of comes down to Jirard himself.
He's the dad of gaming YouTube stuff at this point. Like, everyone knows him. Even like other channels I watch or listen to, every now and then there'll be like a Completionist joke or reference, and I'm like, everyone knows who he is.
Jirard in like The Completionist is almost grandpa of YouTube. You're not always hanging out with your grandpa, but you know he's there if you need him.
Jirard's impact on the YouTube community as a whole is pretty obvious. Everyone kind of knows who he is. A lot of people have worked with him, and more importantly, everyone loves him.
I swear every YouTuber I've ever met that meets Jirard is just like, dude, that guy's such an inspiration. He works so hard. He's so nice.
He has all these cool images of him doing like a cool pose, but he's a little sweetheart. He's a little softy, a little cuddly teddy bear.
He'll just constantly get stopped. Like, we'll be having a conversation and someone will stop him for an autograph or to say, hey, can I get a picture? And he's always like, oh yeah, of course, no problem. But then he turns his attention back to, you or I, whoever he's talking to, and continues the conversation where we left off, like he was engaged.
I just hope that you're having fun and doing what you want to do. That G4 thing is huge, and I saw how excited it made you, and it was really awesome.
I'm so proud of you, everything that you've accomplished, everything you've done for other people.
I just hope that in 10 years that he's still pursuing things that he's interested in and that he thinks would be really cool.
I take solace in the fact that despite how crazy his schedule is and stuff, that I think he is exactly where he wants to be.
10 years from now, over the course of the next 10 years, I think the show will continue to evolve and change as rapidly as it has these past 10 years.
YouTube's always going to change. But to last 10 years on this platform is an incredible feat.
No matter how it turns out with whether YouTube is still around or the YouTube algorithm decides to screw us over yet again, no matter what happens, I am sure that Completionist is alive or not, I know TOVG will be alive.
This journey was so unexpected. I was like, I'm going to go there, and instead I went over there. And that's okay. It's still as fruitful and as wonderful as I wanted it to be.
Happy 10 years, the Completionist!
We nailed that.
Happy 10 years, Jirard. It's been a wild ride, as I'm sure you know. You were there. So happy to see how far you've come. Ever since we first got burgers and you told me about the Completionist to where you are today. Keep it up, man. Play more short games, please.
Happy 10-year anniversary, TOVG. Congratulations on 10 years, Jirard. The easy money was on you dying way before this, based on what we do at TOVG. I lost that money, but never have I been more happy to be wrong about what should have been a sure thing. Here's to you outrunning the Reaper for another 10 years. I'll put my money on that this time.
Happy 10 years, TOVG. Happy 10 years, Completionist.
TOVG, Jirard, happy 10 years. I was very fortunate to be part of it. I hope to be involved in the future too. I'm gonna kiss you when I see you, all of you. You better watch out.
Happy 10 years to everybody at TOVG, Jirard, everyone else that works on the show. I hope you 10 more years, 20 more years of excitement and passion and video games.
Yo, Jirard, TOVG crew, happy 10 freaking years. You guys deserve it, for real. Take a break every now and then, though, alright? Sheesh!
Happy 10 years, guys. Miss you guys all the time. TOVG team, Jirard, everybody at the office. We're so far away now, but it's been really fun to follow all of your guys' successes and the things that you're doing, and we know you're
We're still close in here.
We're close in our hearts, and we know you're working hard, and we've got big hugs stored up for you next time we see you.
Congratulations, Jirard, and to the entire team on 10 years. It's really impressive that you haven't driven yourself insane over a decade. I, for one, am so proud of you. You've made it, buddy.
Happy 10th anniversary, TOVG, Jirard, and everyone else from the Completionist and everything else. You guys have done so much. I'm so proud of you all for it. Jirard, this one's for you. Please, for the love of God, play shorter games. Try something easy like Where's Waldo. You may actually get an episode done early, and you can actually take a break. So you should probably do that. There's a bunch of these. I'll go get some more. They're all on the wall over there.
Happy 10th anniversary, Jirard. Happy decade. In about 11 years, it'll be able to drink finally.
Jirard, sincerely, congratulations on 10 years. You're one of the sweetest, goodest, realest dudes, which is a rare thing in our industry, and I'm just excited to see where the next 10 years go. Just don't forget the little people along the way.
Happy 10-year anniversary, TOVG, The Completionist. You guys are amazing. All of you, writers, editors, team members, everything. You guys did it. This is incredible. What a feat.
Happy 10-year anniversary for The Completionist. Love you, Jirard. Love the team.
And a ukulele has magically appeared out of nowhere. It must be the video game fairies who just give me a ukulele. And I might just play a little thing, shall I? Happy 10 years to you. Happy 10 years to you. Happy 10 years, dear Jirard. Happy 10 years to you.